I spent the whole night on the living room rug next to our old cat, Tinker, who's been fading for weeks. By 7:30 in the morning, I was wrecked, dragging myself to bed for a couple hours of shut-eye before getting my daughter, Ellie, ready for school. That's when I heard my wife, Rachel, in the kitchen, whispering into her phone like she was hiding something. Her voice was sharp, the kind she uses when she's talking to her cousin, Megan. "He's such a loser," she hissed. "He'll do anything if you just snap at him. I swear, I wish he'd just disappear." Megan's laugh came through, loud and mean. "Why don't you kick him out? He's barely a man anyway." I stopped dead in the hallway, my stomach twisting. I was mad, but I kept it together, got Ellie up, and drove her to school like nothing happened. Last week, Rachel was outside my new place, screaming and pounding on the door, so I'm not sure if this is the right spot to unload all this, but I need to get it out before I lose it or do something reckless. It started small, the kind of thing you might miss if you weren't already running on fumes. I'd been up all night with Tinker, trying to get her to eat a little wet food. Rachel floated in and out, muttering she was too exhausted to deal with it, then vanished to bed around midnight. I didn't push her to stay. Tinker's always been my responsibility in her eyes, even though we picked her out together years ago. I gave up arguing about that kind of stuff long ago. So, I curled up on the floor next to Tinker with an old quilt, dozing off but not really sleeping. My back ached, and every creak in the house, the furnace kicking on, Rachel's footsteps upstairs, kept me half awake. I checked my phone, 7:28. I stumbled up, checked on Tinker, who gave me this tired look like she was ready to let go, and headed for the stairs. All I wanted was my bed for an hour before Ellie needed to be up. Then I heard Rachel's voice from the kitchen, low and biting, like she thought I was still passed out. She was on the phone with Megan, talking fast, like she was afraid someone might overhear. I couldn't catch every word, but then it hit me clear as day. "He's such a loser, like some whipped dog. He'll do anything if you just snap at him. I wish he'd just disappear." Megan's laugh was sharp, echoing through the speaker. "Why don't you kick him out? He's barely a man anyway. What's he even good for?" I stood there, one hand on the wall, trying to wrap my head around it. It wasn't just the words, it was how casual they sounded, like this was their regular morning chat, tearing me down like it was nothing. I don't know how long they'd been at it, but it felt like a punch I didn't see coming. I walked into the kitchen, not even trying to be quiet. Rachel's jaw snapped shut, and she gripped her phone so tight her knuckles went white. She wouldn't look at me, just stared at the countertop like it was the most interesting thing in the world. I didn't say a word. What was there to say? I grabbed my keys from the hook, told her I was taking Ellie to school. She muttered something about Ellie being late, still not meeting my eyes. I went upstairs, woke Ellie, who was her usual grumpy morning self, and got her dressed. I told her we'd grab breakfast on the way, so we hit a drive-thru for some pancakes. She perked up after that, chatting about her art project. I kept up the small talk, acting like everything was fine, but my hands were clenched on the steering wheel so hard they ached. After dropping Ellie off, I didn't go home. I drove to this old diner I used to hit up before Rachel and I got married, ordered a coffee that tasted like burnt toast, and just sat there, trying to figure out if I was blowing this out of proportion. I scrolled through old texts with Rachel and Megan, and it hit me, they'd always done this. Little jabs about me being too laid back, not driven enough, not flashy like Megan's crowd. Rachel's family was big on status. Her mom used to drop hints about hoping Rachel would marry up. I guess that stuck with her. Things got worse when Megan moved back last year. Suddenly, everything was a contest. Who had the better car? Who took the fancier vacation? Whose kid was the star student? Rachel started obsessing over money, saying I didn't hustle enough, whatever that meant. I'd always brushed it off. I'm not the type to yell or break stuff, even when I'm pissed. But hearing her call me a loser, like I'm some stray she's stuck with, that broke something in me. I went back home, and Rachel was on the couch, scrolling her phone like nothing happened. Tinker was still curled up on the rug, barely moving. Rachel glanced up and asked if I was still moping. I just stared at her and said, "Are you for real?" She rolled her eyes, said she was just blowing off steam, that Megan gets her in a way I never will. She stood, brushed past me, and nudged my shoulder, not hard, but enough to make a point. I told her I heard everything and I was done. She snapped back, said I always make everything about me, that I can't handle a little venting. I told her venting isn't calling your husband a whipped dog, but whatever. I started grabbing my stuff, my laptop, a duffel of clothes, my work boots. She followed me, demanding to know where I thought I was going, if I was just gonna ditch Ellie and Tinker. I ignored her, called my buddy Dave, who said I could crash at his place. I told Rachel I'd be back for Ellie later, but I was out. She tried to block the door, put her hand on my chest, said I was overreacting. I moved her hand, not rough, but firm, and walked out. She slammed the door so hard a glass fell off the counter and shattered. I didn't look back. I got a Dave's place, a small apartment with a lumpy couch that's now my bed. He didn't pry, just handed me a beer and told me to take it easy. I sat there, staring at my phone as Rachel's text rolled in, long, angry rants about how I'm abandoning my family, how I'm acting like a kid. I muted her notifications. Megan started texting too, calling me spineless, saying real men don't bail over a little gossip. I blocked her without replying. I barely slept that night, just lay there thinking about how Rachel's words cut deeper than I expected. The next morning, I went back to get Ellie for school. Rachel was in the kitchen, slamming drawers, pretending I wasn't there. I got Ellie ready, told her I'm staying with Uncle Dave for a bit, and we'd sort it out. She just nodded, looking confused but not asking much. I dropped her off and headed to work, trying to keep my head straight. It's been a week now, and if I thought I'd calm down, I was wrong. Every morning, I wake up angrier, replaying Rachel's voice calling me a loser, Megan's laugh echoing like it's on loop. I keep thinking about all the times Rachel made me feel small, snarky comments about my job, rolling her eyes when I didn't care about her social media posts, acting like I was embarrassing her at family dinners. Ellie's face pops into my head too, how Rachel would sigh when I'd play with her instead of chasing some big promotion. It's like I was never enough, and I'm done with it. Rachel didn't even text about Tinker for days, just sent one message saying I need to deal with my mess, and called me a coward for leaving. She ignored my text about picking up Ellie, just kept sending these huge paragraphs blaming me for ruining her life. Meanwhile, she's posting these inspirational quotes online about rising above, like she's the victim. It's so typical I almost laughed. I started thinking about what I can do. I'm not going to sit here and let Rachel and Megan keep dragging me through the mud. Rachel's obsessed with how she looks to others, her Instagram, her family barbecues, her group chats. It's all about the image. Always has been, but it got worse when Megan came back. Everything turned into a showdown. Whose house was nicer? Who had the trendier clothes? Whose kid was winning at life? Rachel started nitpicking every dollar we spent, saying I didn't push hard enough at work. Truth is, most of our savings came from me. I had a decent chunk set aside when we met, not a fortune, but enough. Rachel pushed for joint accounts, not out of trust, but because she liked calling the shots. I went along with it, thinking it was easier. Dumb move. Now I'm done playing nice. I made a list. First, I opened a new bank account, just for me. I switched my paycheck to deposit there, leaving a couple hundred in the joint account, enough for Ellie's snacks and school stuff, but not enough for Rachel's shopping sprees. She didn't notice for 2 days, then blew up my phone, screaming that I'm starving her out. I told her to use her own money for her own stuff. She hung up so fast I heard the phone hit something. Next, I canceled every auto payment tied to my card, her yoga classes, her streaming apps, that fancy coffee subscription she brags about online. All gone. I got a declined payment alert and couldn't help but grin. Petty? Maybe. But after years of her treating me like dirt, it felt good. She tried logging into my accounts, but I'd already changed the passwords. I texted her, pay for your own life. She called me immature, and I shot back. At least I'm not trash-talking my spouse to my cousin. She didn't reply. I also called our phone company and took her off my plan. No heads up. The next day, she texted from some random number, saying her phone's cut off and I need to fix it. I told her to get her own plan. She sent a novel-length message about how I'm destroying her world, how I'm a bad example for Ellie. I didn't respond. Megan tried to butt in, texting like she's some wise mediator, saying I'm being harsh, that real men provide no matter what. I told her to worry about her own drama and blocked her again. I called Rachel's parents too, not to stir trouble, but to set the record straight. I told them I heard Rachel and Megan ripping me apart, that Rachel's been doing this for months. Her dad tried to brush it off, saying I might have misheard, but I said, you know how she gets when Megan's around. Her mom just sighed, like she's seen this before. That told me everything. The real kicker was Ellie. Rachel was supposed to pack her lunch and send her with her school tablet, but she forgot 3 days straight. Ellie's teacher called, said she was hungry and waiting in the office. I drove over, brought her a sandwich, and talked to the school about making me the primary contact. I didn't trash Rachel, just said we're having issues and I want Ellie taken care of. The principal agreed to update the records for now. When Rachel found out, she lost it, called me yelling that I'm trying to steal her daughter. I told her, if you focused on being a mom instead of a social media star, you wouldn't have to worry. She hung up so hard I bet she cracked her screen. I'm not trying to cut her out of Ellie's life, but I'm not letting her use our kid to hurt me. I'm done being her doormat, and I'm just getting started. It's been 10 days since I walked out, and things are getting messy. Rachel's still acting like I'm the bad guy, but I'm not backing down. I'm crashing at Dave's, and his couch isn't exactly a 5-star hotel, but it's better than being in a house where I'm the punching bag. Every day, I feel more certain I did the right thing. I keep thinking about Rachel's voice on that phone call, calling me a loser, and Megan's cackle, like it was just another day for them. It's not just the words, it's how they acted like I didn't even matter. I'm done letting them treat me like I'm nothing. I'm figuring out my next steps, and they're not gonna like it. Rachel's been blowing up my phone with texts, flipping between begging and raging. 1 minute, she's saying she's sorry, that she didn't mean it, that we can work it out for Ellie's sake. The next, she's screaming that I'm selfish, that I'm tearing our family apart. I don't reply much, just short answers about Ellie's schedule or Tinker's vet stuff. Tinker's still hanging on, barely eating, and I've been taking her to the vet myself. Rachel hasn't asked about her once, which says it all. She's too busy posting cryptic stuff online about overcoming betrayal or finding her strength. It's all for show, and I'm not falling for it anymore. Ellie's my priority, and I'm making sure she's okay, no matter what Rachel does. I've been taking control of my life in ways I should have done years ago. After moving my paycheck to my new account and cutting off Rachel's subscriptions, I went through our joint credit card statements. Turns out, she's been charging stuff I didn't even know about. Designer bags, spa days, stuff she'd show off on her socials but never mentioned to me. I paid off my half of the balance and canceled the card. She called me the next day, furious, saying she got declined at some boutique. I told her, that's your problem now. She called me petty, but I just said, maybe, but I'm not bankrolling your ego. She hung up, and I didn't hear from her for a whole day. Blissful silence. Megan's been stirring the pot, too. She's not texting me directly since I blocked her, but I heard from a mutual friend that she's been telling people I'm unstable, that I walked out over nothing. She's trying to spin it like I'm the one who's lost it, but nobody's really buying it. Most of our friends know Megan's always been trouble. She's got a knack for making everyone around her feel small unless they're doing her bidding. I don't bother defending myself. Let her talk. People see through her eventually. Rachel's parents are another story. Her mom keeps texting, saying she's worried about Ellie and wants to help. I tell her to just be there for her granddaughter, nothing else. Her dad called once, left a voicemail about family duty and how I should man up. I deleted it halfway through. I don't need lectures from a guy who raised Rachel to think she's better than everyone. Ellie's school situation got worse before it got better. Rachel kept forgetting to send her with lunch or her homework folder. One day, Ellie's teacher called me because Ellie was upset, sitting in the office with no food. I drove over, brought her a burger and fries, and stayed until she was smiling again. I talked to the school counselor, explained that things are rough at home, and asked them to keep me as the main contact. They agreed, no questions asked. When Rachel found out, she showed up at Dave's place, banging on the door, yelling that I'm trying to erase her from Ellie's life. I told her through the door, I'm just making sure Ellie's taken care of. Step up, and we won't have a problem. She kept shouting, calling me controlling, until Dave threatened to call the cops. She left, but not before kicking over a trash can outside. Real classy. The best part? Watching Rachel's perfect little world start to crack. She's still posting her inspirational nonsense, but it's getting desperate. Fewer likes, fewer comments. I heard from a buddy that she tried to get her friends to gang up on me, but most of them aren't biting. They don't know the whole story, and I'm not about to air our laundry for them. Rachel's freaking out about money now. She texted me, saying she can't cover the electric bill, asking for help just this once. I told her, you've got a job. Figure it out. She tried to guilt me, saying Ellie needs a stable home, but I reminded her I'm handling Ellie's needs just fine. She didn't reply after that. I know it sounds cold, but I'm done being her safety net. She wanted to treat me like garbage? Let her deal with the fallout. I'm starting to plan my next move. Dave's been great, but I can't live on his couch forever. I've been looking at apartments near Ellie's school, small places, nothing fancy, but enough for me and her. I texted Rachel, told her I'm moving out for good, and she needs to sort out her own living situation. She tried to pull that "you're destroying our family" card, but I shut it down. I told Ellie we'll have our own place soon, and she got this little smile, like she's excited but scared to show it. That's what keeps me going, making sure she's got a dad she can count on. Rachel's scrambling, Megan's laying low, and I'm just focused on building something solid for me and Ellie. I'm not yelling or fighting, I'm just done playing their game. It feels good to finally stand my ground. 2 weeks in, and I'm still on Dave's couch, but I'm holding my own. Rachel's world is unraveling, and I'm not lifting a finger to fix it. I'm done being her fallback plan. Every time I think about that phone call, her calling me a loser, Megan laughing like it was a comedy show, I get this fire in my gut. It's not just anger, it's clarity. I've spent years letting Rachel and her cousin chip away at me, and I'm not doing it anymore. Ellie's my focus now, and I'm making sure she's got what she needs. Rachel can figure out her own mess. Rachel's been trying every trick in the book. Her texts swing from guilt trips to threats. One day, she's crying, saying she's sorry, that she needs me to come back for Ellie's sake. The next, she's accusing me of abandoning her, saying I'm a deadbeat who's gonna regret this. I keep my responses short. Stuff about Ellie's school pickup or Tinker's vet bills. Tinker's still with us, but she's weaker every day. I've been paying for her meds and taking her to appointments. Rachel hasn't asked about her, not even a text. Instead, she's posting these vague, dramatic stories online about healing from toxic people. It's laughable. She's acting like I'm the one who betrayed her. Meanwhile, Ellie told me Rachel's been snapping at her for no reason, which makes my blood boil. I've been tightening the screws on the financial stuff. After moving my paycheck and canceling Rachel's subscriptions, I went through our old joint account transactions. She'd been funneling money to Megan for who knows what. Probably those girls' trips they'd brag about. I transferred what was left of my share to my new account, leaving just enough for Ellie's school supplies. Rachel noticed fast. She called, screaming that I'm financially abusing her. I told her, you've got a paycheck. Use it. She tried to log into my bank app, but I changed every password. She sent me a long voicemail, crying about how she can't afford her car payment. I didn't call back. I also switched our internet bill to her name, no warning. She texted me when it got shut off, demanding I fix it. I replied, call the provider yourself. She didn't write back. Megan's been running her mouth, as expected. She's not texting me since I blocked her, but Dave's girlfriend heard she's telling their friend group I'm a deadbeat who walked out over one little fight. She's painting Rachel as the victim, but it's not sticking. Most people know Megan's all talk. She's always got some drama going, always tearing someone down to feel better about herself. I don't waste energy correcting her lies. The truth comes out eventually. Rachel's parents are starting to see it too. Her mom called me, apologizing for Rachel's behavior, asking if Ellie's okay. I told her Ellie's fine with me and to just be a grandma. Her dad sent a text, saying we should talk like men, but I ignored it. I'm not here for their approval. Ellie's school issues are still a headache. Rachel forgot to send her with her gym clothes twice last week, and Ellie got embarrassed in class. The teacher emailed me, so I brought Ellie a spare set and apologized. I met with the principal and made it official. I'm the primary contact now. I explained, calmly, that Rachel's been dropping the ball, and I want to make sure Ellie's covered. They updated the records without a fuss. Rachel found out and showed up at Dave's again, pounding on the door, yelling that I'm stealing her kid. I opened the door a crack, told her, "You want to be a mom? Act like one." She started crying, saying I'm turning Ellie against her. I shut the door. She stood there shouting for 10 minutes, then peeled out, tires squealing. Dave's neighbor asked if we're okay, and I just nodded. Rachel's social media game is slipping. Her posts are getting frantic, quotes about strength in adversity, with barely any likes. I heard from a buddy that she tried to rally her friends to talk sense into me, but they're staying out of it. Nobody wants to touch this mess. Rachel's freaking out about bills now. She texted, begging for help with the water bill, saying Ellie needs a stable home. I told her I'm covering Ellie's needs, and she can handle her own utilities. She tried to pull the "you're hurting our daughter" card, but I didn't bite. I know I'm being tough, but after years of her treating me like I'm less than, I'm not caving. She made her bed. I'm looking at apartments now, small places near Ellie's school. I want a spot where she can have her own room, maybe a little corner for Tinker if she pulls through. I told Ellie we're getting our own place soon, and her eyes lit up, even if she didn't say much. It's the first time in weeks I've seen her look hopeful. I texted Rachel, said I'm moving out permanently, and she needs to figure out her next steps. She replied with a long rant about how I'm destroying everything we built. I didn't respond. I'm done arguing. Rachel's scrambling, Megan's losing her grip, and I'm just focused on me and Ellie. I'm not shouting or throwing punches. I'm just walking away from their chaos. And it feels right. 3 weeks since I left, and Rachel's desperation is kicking into high gear. I'm still at Dave's, but I've got my eye on a small apartment a few blocks from Ellie's school. The couch life's getting old, but it's worth it to keep my head clear. Rachel's been hammering me with texts, cycling through apologies, threats, and sob stories. She's saying she'll change, that she didn't mean to hurt me, that we owe Ellie a real family. I'm not buying it. Her words from that phone call calling me a loser, wishing I'd disappear, still burn. Megan's laughter haunts me too. I'm done being their doormat. Ellie's my anchor, and I'm building something solid for her, no matter what Rachel throws at me. Rachel's losing her grip on her perfect image. Her social media posts are sporadic now, fewer selfies, more vague rants about fake loyalty. Her friends aren't engaging like they used to, and I hear she's been ghosted by half her group chat. She's been calling Ellie's school, trying to reassert control, but they stick to the new setup with me as primary contact. Last week, she forgot to pack Ellie's science project, and Ellie got a 0. I had to talk to the teacher to get her a redo. Rachel called me after, screaming that I'm undermining her as a mother. I told her, "You undermined yourself when you left Ellie hanging." She hung up, but not before cursing me out. Ellie's been quieter lately, but she's happier when she's with me, and that's what keeps me going. I've been ruthless with the money stuff. After cutting off her subscriptions and moving my paycheck, I closed our last joint savings account. I took my half money I'd saved before we even met and left her what was hers. She tried to withdraw everything first, but the bank flagged it, and I'd already secured my share. She texted, accusing me of stealing her future. I replied, "You've got a job. Build your own." She tried to get her dad to call me, but he just left a gruff voicemail about sorting this like adults. I didn't call back. I also switched the car insurance to my name only. She's on her own for that now. She sent a frantic message when her coverage lapsed, begging me to reinstate it. I told her to call her agent. She didn't reply. Megan's been quiet, but I heard she's been spreading lies at a bar downtown, saying I'm a deadbeat who abandoned my kid. Nobody's taking her seriously. She's got a reputation for stirring trouble. Rachel's mom keeps texting, asking about Ellie, offering to take her for weekends. I tell her Ellie's welcome to visit, but I'm handling her day-to-day. Her dad tried to corner me at the hardware store, talking about family values. I cut him off, said, "Raise your daughter better next time." He walked away, red-faced. Rachel's family's starting to see her for what she is, and it's hitting her hard. The real blow came yesterday. Rachel showed up at Dave's, not yelling this time, just standing outside, tears streaming down her face. She knocked softly, like she was defeated. I opened the door a crack, and she begged to talk. Said she's sorry, that Megan pushed her to say those things, that she's drowning without me. I told her, "You didn't just say it, you meant it. And I'm done fixing your messes." She cried harder, said Ellie's struggling without her mom. I told her Ellie's struggling because of her mom. She left after that, no fight, just shuffled back to her car. I didn't feel bad, not after everything. I'm not here to save her anymore. I'm saving me and Ellie. I signed the lease on the new apartment last week, a small 2-bedroom near Ellie's school. It's nothing fancy, but it's ours. I moved in over the weekend, with Dave helping me haul a second-hand couch and a mattress. Ellie's got her own room now, with a little desk for her drawings. She smiled bigger than I've seen in months when she saw it. Tinker's still with us, curled up on a blanket in the corner. The vet says she's got a little time left, and I'm making her comfortable. Rachel's been quiet since her breakdown at Dave's, but I know she's not done trying to claw her way back. I'm ready for whatever she pulls next. My focus is Ellie and building a life where we don't have to walk on eggshells. Rachel's social media's gone dark. No more inspirational quotes or cryptic jabs. I heard from a coworker that she's been calling in sick a lot, and her friends are pulling away. She tried to pick Ellie up from school without telling me last week, but the office called me first. I told them to send Ellie to aftercare, and I picked her up myself. Rachel sent a long text after, saying I'm alienating her daughter. I replied, "You want to see Ellie? Act like a parent." She didn't respond. Ellie's been opening up more, telling me she's tired of Rachel's mood swings. I listen, don't badmouth her mom. Just tell her we're gonna be okay. She's starting to believe it. The money situation's getting dire for Rachel. She texted, saying she's behind on rent and might get evicted. I told her I'm not responsible for her bills anymore. She tried to guilt me, saying Ellie needs a stable mom, but I reminded her I'm covering Ellie's needs. I checked with the landlord of our old place. He confirmed Rachel's missed 2 months. I told him I paid my share when I lived there, and he's on his own with her. She tried to get her mom to call me, begging for a loan, but I told her mom the same thing. Rachel's got to stand on her own. I'm not heartless, but I'm not her ATM either. She's learning what it's like to face consequences. Megan's vanished from the scene. Word is she's got her own drama, some fight with her roommate, and she's not around to egg Rachel on anymore. Rachel's parents are stepping up for Ellie, taking her for ice cream or movies on weekends. I'm fine with it, as long as they don't try to meddle. Her dad sent me a text, apologizing for misjudging me. I didn't reply. I don't need his validation. I'm doing this for Ellie, not for their approval. The school's been great too. Ellie's teacher says she's doing better, turning in homework, even laughing more. I make sure she's got lunch, her tablet, everything she needs. It's simple, but it's working. Rachel tried one last stunt yesterday. She showed up at my new place, not crying or yelling, just standing there with a box of Ellie's old toys. Said she wanted to make things right. I let her in, but kept it short. She apologized again, said she's seeing a therapist, that she's trying to change. I told her, words don't fix what you did. You want to be in Ellie's life? Prove it with actions. She nodded, left the box, and walked out. I didn't feel angry, just empty. I'm not holding my breath for her to change, but I'll let her try, for Ellie's sake. I'm moving forward, no matter what. It's been 2 months since I moved into the apartment, and life's starting to feel steady. Ellie's settled in, decorating her room with posters and string lights. She's got Tinker's old collar hanging on her bulletin board, like a little keepsake. Tinker passed last week, quietly, on her blanket. Ellie cried, but we buried her in a nice spot by the park, and it felt like closure. Rachel's been trying to worm her way back, but I'm keeping her at arm's length. Her apologies don't erase the years of tearing me down, and I'm not letting her mess with the peace I've built. Ellie's happier, I'm stronger, and that's what matters. Rachel's finally facing reality. She got evicted from our old place and moved in with her parents. She texted me, asking for help with moving costs. I told her no, she's got family, she'll figure it out. Her social media is private now, and I hear she stopped posting altogether. Her friends have bailed, and Megan's still MIA, caught up in her own chaos. Rachel's been showing up at Ellie's school events, trying to play the devoted mom. I let her, but I'm there too, making sure Ellie's not caught in her games. Ellie's teacher says Rachel's been more consistent with drop-offs, but I'm not holding my breath. I've got a schedule for Ellie, half the week with me, half with Rachel's parents' place. It's working for now. The financial stuff's settled. I've got my accounts locked down, and Rachel's off all my plans. She tried to get a lawyer, claiming I withheld funds, but it went nowhere. Our accounts were joint, and I only took what was mine. She dropped it fast. Her parents are helping her with bills, but I hear she's looking for a second job. Good. Maybe she'll learn what it's like to hustle. I'm saving up for Ellie's summer camp, maybe a trip to the lake. She's excited, and it feels good to give her something to look forward to. My job's steady, and I'm picking up extra shifts when I can. It's tight, but I'm making it work. Rachel's family's been surprisingly decent. Her mom's been great with Ellie, baking cookies, teaching her to knit. Her dad pulled me aside at a school play, said he respects how I've stepped up. I just nodded. I don't need their praise, but it's nice to know they see me for who I am. Megan tried to stir things up once, texting Ellie's soccer coach some nonsense about me being unfit. The coach ignored her, told me about it later. I laughed it off. Megan's a ghost now, nobody's listening to her. The school's got my back, and Ellie's thriving. She made the honor roll last week, and I took her out for pizza to celebrate. She's laughing more, and it's the best sound in the world. Rachel called me last night, not to fight, just to talk. Said she's been reflecting, that she knows she screwed up. She asked if we could meet, just to figure out co-parenting. I agreed, but I set ground rules. No Megan, no drama, just Ellie. We're meeting at a coffee shop tomorrow. I'm not expecting miracles, but I'm open to hearing her out, for Ellie's sake. I'm not the guy she called a loser anymore. I'm standing tall, and she knows it. Whatever happens, I've got my kid, my place, my life. I'm not looking back. 6 months later, and I'm in a good place. Ellie and I are settled in the apartment, and it feels like home. She's got a shelf full of art projects, and we've got a routine, school, dinner, movie nights on Fridays. Tinker's gone, but Ellie keeps her collar on her desk, a quiet reminder. Rachel's changed, or at least she's trying. Our coffee shop meeting went better than I expected. She admitted she was wrong, said Megan fed her insecurities, and she's cut her out. She's working 2 jobs, living with her parents, and seeing a counselor. I listened, didn't say much, just told her to keep showing up for Ellie. So far she has. I'm cautious, but I'm giving her a chance to prove it. Ellie's doing great. She's on the soccer team now, and I'm at every game, cheering louder than anyone. Rachel shows up too, and we keep it civil. Ellie's grades are solid, and she's got a best friend she's always giggling with. Her grandparents are a big part of her life, and I'm grateful for that. Rachel's mom even invited me over for Thanksgiving, and I went, for Ellie. It was awkward, but we got through it. Rachel's dad shook my hand, said I'm a good father. I just said, I'm doing my best. Megan's out of the picture, last I heard. She moved across state, chasing some new drama. Nobody misses her. Financially, I'm stable. I got a small raise at work, and I'm saving for a used car for Ellie when she's old enough. Rachel's handling her own bills, and we split Ellie's expenses down the middle. No more fights over money. The school still got me as primary contact, but Rachel's stepping up, packing lunches, signing permission slips. I check in with Ellie's teachers, make sure everything's on track. She's happy, and that's all I ever wanted. I've even started dating a little, nothing serious, just coffee here and there. It's weird, but it's nice to feel like I'm enough for someone. Rachel and I aren't friends, but we're co-parents. She's got her life, I've got mine. She thanked me last week for giving her space to grow, said she didn't realize how much she relied on putting me down to feel better. I told her I'm glad she's figuring it out, but I'm not here to hold her hand. She nodded, and we left it at that. I don't forgive her, not fully, but I don't hate her either. She's Ellie's mom, and that's enough for me to keep the peace. I think about that phone call sometimes, her calling me a loser, and it still stings. But it's also what pushed me to stand up, to build this life for me and Ellie. I'm not the guy she thought I was. I'm better. Looking back, I'm proud of myself. I could have stayed, taken the hits, let Rachel and Megan walk all over me. But I didn't. I chose me. I chose Ellie, and I built something real. If you're out there, letting someone tear you down, don't wait. Stand up, walk away, and don't look back. You're worth more than their words. Ellie's laughing in the next room, drawing a picture for her art class, and I'm smiling. This is my life now, and it's good. I'm not running anymore. I'm home.